Welcome to Untethered. We are Cody and Angela traveling with our dogs Charlie and Eris. We relocated several times over the past 8 years for work and then spent the last year living and working in our RV. After thousands of miles, several states, and plenty of peaks and valleys along the way, we wanted to share our journey, either to help prepare you, caution you on what not to do, or just ride along on this unregrettable journey with us. Join us on the journey this week, while after 1 year of full-time RV living, we address the top questions we get asked while on the road.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Untethered. Cody and Ange here, bringing you a series of videos about our first full year of full-time RV living, and we're going to jump right into it with the top questions we get asked out there on the road.
One question that we get a lot in the campgrounds are about internet or Starlink specifically.
Yeah, we see a lot of people walk up to our camper and they see the dish out in the yard or on top of the roof and they go, what is that thing? Or is that Starlink? Or how does it work? Or how much does it cost?
We've done a lot of videos about this, so we don't want to waste your time. We'll put those cards at the end of the video, but quick and fast.
Yeah, quick and fast. We do have Starlink for our primary internet source. We also have AT&T cell phones with hotspot capabilities, and we have a T-Mobile hotspot that we carry just so we're always covered no matter where we're at. Another question we get a lot is about our state of residence. People see our South Dakota license plates and just assume we live in South Dakota. We really live wherever our rig is parked, but we did do our residency through South Dakota. Suffice to say, we are South Dakota residents. Our driver's license and license plates and car insurance, taxes, everything goes through South Dakota. We did choose South Dakota above some other nomad-friendly states like Florida and Texas, mainly because they don't have annual vehicle inspections. It was going to be just a nightmare for us to get all of our stuff moved to Texas every year, to have vehicle inspections done, so South Dakota really worked out great for us.
You do buy your insurance through the state that you reside in, and Florida was quite a bit more significant
when it came to car insurance and RV insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I would say that South Dakota, the DMV there, they have their stuff together.
Yeah, it's a really easy process if you just do your research ahead of time, follow the directions, and show up with all the needed documentation.
We had a little bit of a different situation with moving and living in different states at the time, so we did make a phone call and just verified, but they do a really good job of putting the information out there for you. If you show up with it, we were in and out, 15 minutes, boom, bam. They were nice, They were easy, and we were pleasantly surprised. We went in with a lot of anxiety, not knowing what to expect.
And along with nomadic residency, you also have to think about mail, which kind of plays into this. We actually use the Escapees mail service that handles all of our mail for us. All of our mail goes to one address and they forward it to us wherever we are in the country. They have a really nice mobile app now that they didn't have when we first got on, making it even easier. There is a cost associated with it every year, but it's very reasonable for the service that you get.
So 1 year in, we're very happy with our choice thus far.
And we love South Dakota, so any excuse we need to go back there, we'll go back.
Absolutely. The question we get pretty frequently is, what's our favorite place that we visited? And for us, that seems to be one of the hardest questions, as silly as it sounds, because we like different places for different reasons. You have your really big places, and you have yours that maybe you had something sentimental, and we have a lot of country still yet to see.
Yeah.
If there's any place that I think of a lot, like I want to go back, I want to just do it better, do it again, do it different, it's South Dakota's Badlands National Park and Custer State Park. We loved it there. The park systems were very new to us at the time, so I don't feel like we truly experienced the way that we should have. We would go back in prepared and like really do it right.
I tend to lean, like Angela, towards the outdoorsy stuff and enjoying nature's beauty and everything our country has to offer. And since she's already said the Badlands, I'm gonna go with Big Bend National Park. We spent a few weeks here earlier this year, and I loved it. I would go spend 3 more weeks there now. It's just a really cool place, especially in the wintertime. You get really good temperatures, and Big Bend was just a blast. But honestly, I think it would be easier to name the places we've been that we don't like, and maybe we'll just save that for another video.
I know a question you get stopped and asked a lot, and that's about the truck.
Yeah, I do get a lot of truck questions. We kind of fall into the minority of RVers and probably full-time RVers in that we don't have a diesel truck. So,
easy on the flack there, folks. Easy.
So please don't unsubscribe. In all seriousness, we run a 2022 Ford F350 Super Duty. It has the 7.3 Godzilla gas engine, 373 rear end, and 10-speed automatic. We've had the truck for about 50,000 miles, and other than putting airbags on the rear to help with the ride when we're loaded, and a brush guard on the front to stop Bambi, or at least hopefully stop Bambi, we haven't had to do anything to this truck. Knock on wood. So there's really not much to report as far as our first year of ownership. It's been a great truck. Power's never an issue. It does get thirsty. We've averaged about 8.5 miles per gallon when loaded with our fifth wheel since we've had the truck, and we're about 17 on the highway if it's just us out driving around. So we've been very happy with the truck. I'm pretty enthusiastic about it. Yes, it has enough power. It never leaves us hanging. I know a diesel's got a lot more power, but we just really don't need it for our setup. But love the truck, and we do get that question quite often. Another question we get asked often out on the road is, what do we do for exercise? Where do we go to the gym? People that know us know we're in the gym at least 5 days a week generally. We go pretty early in the morning, and a lot of people ask us that.
So we do plan some time according to how close a campground is to the gym, because we have to plan out our morning, and that makes a difference. I love the consistency of a corporate gym where I can just walk in, know generally the machinery that they're gonna have in the same general layout. This may seem silly to some, but to us it's a big part of what we do.
Yep.
And we like it. Makes our lives a little easier, so we plan around them. I know there's people that can do those workouts outside and be committed to it, all temps. You gotta know thyself. And I know thyself hates unless the stars are perfectly aligned. I don't like working out outside. I don't like it. Probably not going to do it. I'm just going to lay in bed, make an excuse. So
generally, if it's cold or rainy, we're not going to work out outside. We have done that some, but generally we can land next to a corporate gym that's kind of on every corner of every town. We have run into a few occasions this year where we've actually bought week memberships at other gyms, smaller local gyms in places where those corporate gyms might not be. That's worked out pretty good, but usually we'll spend double our monthly membership fee on a weekly membership fee. But we have done it, and we do it when we need to. And I know when we were up in the UP, we actually did about a week's worth of outdoor workouts because there was no gym anywhere near us, and it was cold and it was misty and it was kind of miserable. So we're gonna continue to know ourselves and hit those corporate gyms that are on every corner.
that's what we do. A question we get very, very often
Daily.
is, what do you do for a living?
I've worked in the transportation and logistics industry, trucking companies, for nearly 20 years now. Angela's been on that side of the business for about 5. So COVID helped us out a lot and gave us an opportunity to work remote, and that's kind of what fueled the fire to get this whole thing going. That worked out really great until recently, when due to some economic challenges, we had some forced layoffs. So currently, we're not working at all. It's fine.
Oh wait,
It's fine in our industry. Layoffs and upsizing and downsizing are pretty common based on economic conditions. This is our first round with it, thankfully. Nearly 20 years for me, and it's my first time to be unemployed. But this is something we knew could always happen. We had planned for it, so we're just fine. So we're currently seeking employment.
honestly, the timing was perfect because we had been away from home for 8 years, and it gave us some opportunities to play a little catch up with important things.
We are ready to get back to work, so
Change is coming, and we'll let you know as that happens.
hopefully it takes us to some cool places, because we are going to continue to seek out remote work. I have no plans on going back to an office. I'm loving this. So we'll keep you guys posted, but it may, drag us in a crazy direction of somewhere we have to go to do orientation for a new job.
I think we need to dig deep. Like, can you juggle?
Circus tricks are probably not in my not in my wheelhouse. And finally, do you regret selling your house and most of your stuff and moving into a 36-foot RV and living in it 365 days a year?
No.
Do you?
Nope, don't. But I think that it was a lot of our perspective, how we went into it. We were away from home for 8 years, so we didn't have to go through that process of leaving home and all the stress that can come with that whole process. We all had already done that, been there, done that. Worst case scenario, after a month, if we hate it, let's go buy a house, because we already had the RV. We didn't have to buy the RV to do it. So I think our situation may have been a little bit different. We knew we could live with each other in a small space. We've worked together. We've gone through all that already. All the trials.
We've lived in hotels and small apartments and places we've been relocated. There's always that 2 or 3 month stint where you got to live somewhere you may not like so much. So we already knew we were good in small spaces, and we've had RVs for about 10 years. So none of that was too much of a mystery to us.
We were putting 16 hours on the road every weekend to
try to go see our son, and then you only get so much vacation, so to go back home for the holidays can be a real stretch and a real challenge. And we kind of got to the point where we felt like we really weren't living. We were working and living somewhere, sometimes in places that we really didn't want to be, 500 miles away from our adult son and 1,000 miles away from our home. So this has worked out really nice. I think we've seen our friends and family more in this last year than we ever have since we left home in Arkansas about 8 years ago. So this is working out great. No regrets for me. I'm loving it. I don't miss cutting grass in the summertime. I don't miss
the important stuff. Jeez.
There's always something to do around the RV, so I think I'm just as busy now as when I had a home. But I think people probably thought we were crazy when we started doing this.
No.
Whether or not they told us to our face or not, it's a different story. But in all seriousness, though, we love it. We have no plans of stopping, and let the journey continue. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We love seeing that count grow. We love all the comments and all the likes, and we love talking to you guys online. And if you have ideas or something we need to do or see in our second year of full-time RV living, we're always open to suggestions. We found some of the coolest places that weren't listed online or weren't properly advertised by just talking to people. And that really is our favorite thing. And we'll catch you on the next video.
Remember, you can always go back to review these videos as we drop them in the playlist portion of the page as well.